Hello. Yes, I am like 20 minutes late. Yeah, I woke up like 40 minutes ago and I started like immediately working on the schedule because I suddenly had an idea for one. So I take like these like melatonin things for sleeping peacefully and sleeping well, but they actually do surprisingly work, and I ended up just sort of passing out for way too long last night. So yeah, that's part of the reason my stream is later than usual. So I made sure to get everything I needed to do done. First things first, namely just eating and putting up that schedule because I haven't put one up yet. So yeah, hopefully that's good enough for now, even though it is a pretty scuffed one, all things considered. Anyways, so because of that, I fell asleep too early and slept in too late to do any grinding on the dungeon I finished yesterday, as well as any Olympus gear or anything like that. So I'm still in the same exact position as I was before. Because of that, we're basically just going to be going through Marleybone for a bit until we can get Judgment properly. Because I do actually think it might be necessary for non-Olympus after thinking about it for a bit. But basically, yeah, that's the idea. Yeah, but the general idea that we're going to have is that we're going to go through Marleybone until we can get Judgment, and whether or not we touch Mount Olympus today will kind of vary depending on how long that actually takes us. Or we might just finish up a decent bit of Marleybone, and then I'll do the original plan of doing Mount Olympus off stream. So yeah, hopefully that's good enough.
What's this? A special tonic from Hugh? I knew he would come through. Thank you, young wizard, you did well.
Yeah, sorry. My dog isn't used to me immediately streaming after waking up, so normally we'd do a little bit more than that. So she may be whining a little bit throughout this. But yes, generally speaking, we are actually pretty much just wrapping up a lot of the stuff we were finishing before, because we got a lot of this done last time. It was just due to the internet issues that kept cutting out, and then we also moved over to Wisteria to get this wand. Which is the main concern for doing Mount Olympus, is mainly getting that better wand, since it's easily the biggest upgrade we can get at this point in the game. However, because our current wand is actually like totally acceptable for where we actually are in the game, I'm actually not in too big of a rush to do it. Because while Mount Olympus gear would definitely help, this is actually around the level of power that you're supposed to be, at least how the game was designed back then. So it will be kind of cool to see it be a little bit more accurate like that.
Very good job, young wizard. Thank you for supporting our troops.
Yeah, but also, my voice might sound a bit weird because lately I have not been feeling very good. I think I might be sick. Oh no. And yes, I can get sick. I know I look a bit strange, but I do get sick as well. Although it's usually like mental. You know how it's like called like a head cold? Well, it's more like a cold in my head. That's how my body works, I think. Based on this, I think we actually don't have much in the way of actual side quests besides that one housing tutorial. What that is for some reason they decided to have this very weird crafting mechanic. You know, because like every game did that, where they were trying to replicate Minecraft.
You do not have a ticket for this.
Oh, okay. I need to Oh, right, I need to talk to... Oh, this one over here. Basically the same thing. But yes, here we go. Cool little hot air balloon ride, like the Crocus Sphinx, but longer. And here's where we actually get a good idea of what the actual scale of a world in the spiral would actually be like. And I think it's actually pretty cool. Because, you know, this is like pretty much the only time we could ever actually like properly measure it out, because we have the wizard, and then we can also potentially get a good single view shot of this. I'm pretty sure you could measure out exactly how big the entirety of Marleybone would be, just based on like how many wizards you could fit in it, like in a straight line across it, which would be kind of funny, but it would also be very informative. Yes. But now that we're here, we also have access to a lot more side quests, like her. So yeah, we basically just got done with all of the side quests in the main little central hub area, and now we're going immediately back into doing like 20 side quests per each of these little areas. That's the Arc 1 experience.
Oh, thank you, young wizard, for speaking with me. The O'Learys have wreaked havoc on our poor community garden. They've been digging through it and running off with the flowers. If you would be so kind, could you bring them back to me? I would be ever so grateful.
Those rascals, those hooligans, those O'Leary scurriers, they're stealing flowers for some reason. I'm not sure if it's like a prank or if they actually like are trying to sell them. I'm not sure where they would sell them to, if that was the case. It seems like a very long and difficult process to transfer a potted, like a flower from like a community garden to a potted plant, because you have to actually like dig around for the roots and stuff if you want to keep it alive. Oh yeah, also balance enemies. This is one of the worlds where we're actually going to be running into them a little bit more often, so we need to keep that in mind. Let's see. Okay, so we need to take out our feints. We need to remember we are not in the... Oops, we need to remember we are not in a dungeon right now. We do not need this many. Since there are balance enemies, we might put back in ghouls for our hits instead. Yeah, that seems like it would work. Okay, cool. And here's Miss Conroe.
Boone sent you, has he? Even a great detective needs a hand now and then, eh? Oh, I'm nothing special. I just keep an eye on the neighborhood. That's how I learned an O'Leary is willing to part with some inside information. I've arranged a meeting with Baxter, but he's afraid the other O'Learys will catch on. A wizard like you should put him at ease. Meet Baxter at the greenhouse near the fountains. He should give the goods on whatever those O'Learys are after.
So yeah, because those melatonin pills
I've got
are...
you now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because those melatonin pills are actually surprisingly effective. I'm actually just gonna have to do everything I was intending to do like last night today. So today's stream will probably be a little bit shorter. But in the meantime, it won't really matter too much. Like I said, yeah, I scheduled Wizard101 for the entire, like, week pretty much. However, my biggest concern with that would be that it pretty much leaves me no time for ever actually grinding out any of the gear from Mount Olympus and stuff, so I might end up having to cancel one of those days. But also, like I said, I'm also planning on doing 2 streams a day, so I might end up having to also make a separate schedule for that. But I'm not entirely sure what time that would be. So instead what I'll do is I'll just not schedule those out yet until I can find out what a good time of night would be. So for now, they'll just kind of be guerrilla streams. But like I said before, I think that's when I want to do anything variety related. In the meantime, let's be sure to grab these potted plants. So yeah. That is the plan. Today's stream might only be like a very short period of time. Like I said, we're probably only going to go until we can actually get access to Judgment, which should be not here, but it's the next area in Marleybone. So we'll do that. We also need the Hyde Park cat, which I believe is actually over here. It should be around the fountain if I'm remembering correctly. Or not. Where is that thing? Also, we should grab these while we're here. Cattails are one of the only sources of kelp, and like I said before, if you want to do some very specific crafting, you're going to need a lot of kelp for it. Like an absurd amount of kelp. And so this is actually like one of the locations you have to realm hop in between constantly in order to be able to get enough. Where is that cat? Is it over here? That is a potted plant. Oh, there he is. I knew he was around here somewhere. Oh good, there we go. There's a Hyde Park cat.
An ambush? The O'Learys must be getting wise to us. Imagined if I had gone to meet Baxter. Good thing you were there.
Yes, good thing I was there.
Let's find Baxter before the O'Learys do. A little birdie told me the location of a few of his hideouts. Go look for him in each safe house. Be careful, love.
It's good that we were there because we're like super overpowered. I mean, imagine if we were just like a normal kid and we just got the crap kicked out of us by some random burglar.
You are ever so kind. I will do my best to put these flowers back in order. Dear me, the O'Learys have done their work on the garden again.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you have to actually put in like a lot of work. At least this is my understanding. That you have to actually like make sure that the flowers don't like end up getting screwed up and like dying whenever you try to remove them from something. So they had to put in a lot of work to be able to do that. That does not sound like a random hooligan behavior for no reason.
Lady Desane sighs and shakes her head.
Or it's like some random little prank.
I won't report them to the constables. The flowers will grow back after all, except for the Pax flower in the park. Bring it to me and I will keep it safe. I do hope the O'Learys haven't found the Pax flower yet. Bring it to me from the greenhouse if you can.
Yeah, so apparently in order to keep the plants from being removed from the garden, we now have to remove them from the garden ourselves so they can't do it. Oh, whatever. It's their garden, I guess. I would just set it up in a different place. Like, set it up in a house or something. And again, I'm not even entirely sure how you can grow flowers since there's literally no sunlight here. This place is in perpetual nighttime. At least that's my understanding. Also, I like how Marleybone has its own night sky and moon, but the stars like are actually just like random star shapes, and we know that's not how stuff looks in the spiral. So Marleybone has like its own like separate sky and like celestial stuff going on. That's very weird.
You're most kind to help with the garden, wizard. I hope you won't think me too soft on the O'Learys. The garden belongs to them too.
Sure. Okay, cool. What do we get? A little hat. Yep, it's just health. That's another good question. When am I gonna do Grizzleheim? Because Grizzleheim is like level gated. I think I mentioned this before. But Grizzleheim is level gated in a way so you end up going there and doing things in Grizzleheim, but then you can't go back to the next area to like a later level. And I think it ends at like level 45. That's some weird lag there. Because Grizzleheim ends at like level 45, I'm thinking I might just do that after Dragonspire. Or maybe like just before Dragonspire. Maybe like just before the ending of Dragonspire. I don't know. I'll have to figure that out. In the meantime, we should be sure to grab these.
That hooligan stole my gold watch.
Oh, you're fleet of foot. Mind retrieving my gold watch?
Okay. Like the way he said that line almost made it sound like he was gonna say something immediately afterwards, but just like got cut off.
You're a wizard. Glad to see you out on the street, I am. Say, could you lend us a wand? The O'Learys are running amok. Not that you don't already know that. Afraid it's a bit more than I can handle. Could you help me round up some O'Leary scurriers?
Okay. Any other side quests? There are. Okay. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of them. Just sitting around waiting to be taken and done. It's like every other world, you want to be sure to be able to grab all of them, just so that way you can make sure that you're not being, like, stupid and missing, like, oh, you have to fight this specific enemy that you're gonna end up fighting anyways. So if you don't grab it now, you're just gonna have to go back and do it again. Let's see.
Excuse me, young wizard, but I was wondering if you could pick up a package from my brother for me.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I remember this one being a fairly long quest chain that involves going back to, like, the main hub area again.
I have a note from Retriever about a package that I need to pick up. Could you do it for me? Or please find him and ask him where it is.
Yeah, this one's pretty long. In the meantime, we'll do this quick safe house. And then we will go do that, I think. Wait, actually first. Nope, okay, cool. That was everything.
We can't lose him. Try to stop him before he gets away.
Yeah, so overall, besides being extremely tired, I'm actually in a pretty good mood today. I've been able to get back around to doing a lot of art studies and stuff. Speaking of art stream maybe planned eventually, the biggest issue is I'd have to find a place to put my mic, because like right now I have it like in a weird spot like right in front of me. So in order to find a place to put a drawing tablet down, I'd need to clear out like a separate space. The issue is this mic is only really good at picking up noise that's like immediately right in front of it. I'm pretty sure even like when my dog was barking, it couldn't even be like picked up super clearly, because it only really picks up noise like when you're talking directly into it, and even then, if it does pick up noise from anywhere else in a room, it will just like be like super cut out and staticky. So I'm not sure about that, but maybe drawing the stream soon. I'm not particularly good at it, but I want to start making some good art. Good art, of course, referring specifically to whatever shitpost I can manage to come up with at the time. Because that's pretty much all I use it for anyways. Thankfully we can still one-shot things here. Yep, see, there we go. We got a pocket watch just from that quest. So that's why I want to do them all at the same time. So we'll also hand this in before we teleport over to Regent Square. So I have no idea what a regent is, but I think I've heard that term before, and I've always thought it was called like Reagents Square because you can buy reagents from there. And it's like the center of trade, I guess. I don't know. In retrospect, that would have made a little bit more sense. Like, I have no idea where my old teleport location was, but I'm pretty sure it was just somewhere else in Marleybone. So anyways.
My gold watch. It's a verifiable antique from Celestia.
Ooh, a mention of Celestia.
Thank heavens you retrieved it from those hooligans. Please notify Officer Darby about the theft. He's right over there. Those hooligans must pay for their crime.
I forgot that they mentioned Celestia this early on. It's one of the other worlds with big connections to Marleybone, so that's kind of cool.
What's this? Thieves and thugs on the prowl? Not on my watch, they won't.
Dude, you just asked us to go beat up 3 of them for you.
Miss Chesterfield just reported a robbery. Had to set it aside.
Robbery.
For the O'Leary activity.
Robbery.
Talk to Emily Chesterfield. She's not far from here. I'll see what I can learn on my end.
Why is he talking like that? Is that because he's using like a fake accent? He's just having a weird time pronouncing it, or is his accent actually like real and he's just pronouncing stuff weird? Ribbery. So he pronounces O's and A's as U's for some reason. It's almost like French sounding more than anything. But yeah, I don't know. Anyways, Miss Chesterfield, you need something else we need to pick up.
Oh, yes. I was hoping someone would come quickly, though I wasn't expecting a wizard. My umbrella's been stolen. It may not seem like much, but it was encrusted with family jewels. I saw one of those O'Learys before it went missing. It would mean a great deal if you could recover it for me.
Okay, so more beating up random mobs. In the meantime, back to Regent Square. I think a regent is like some kind of like political person. Like a duke or something. But like a different level of what? I don't know. That'd be good to look up real quick. While we're walking over to Mr. Mailman.
Emily's package? Oh, that should still be at the post office near Digmore Station. Just ask Edwin Vintry. He'll be a good boy and fetch it for you.
So Regent is, oh, okay, that's interesting. So it's a name that's given to like a governor who only rules in the absence of the actual person. So like a backup mayor, basically, I guess, or like a backup governor. That's kind of weird, but whatever. You know, it actually sounds like a pretty decently important position, but I'm not sure why it's supposed to be called Regent Square though. Since it's being ruled over by the regent. In which case it wouldn't be called Regent Square. It should probably be called something else. I don't know, I'm overthinking this. Let's just continue getting this random purse, I think it is.
Package for Emily Chesterfield? I'm sorry, but I do not see it here. Oh yes, it was from her brother at the dig site in Crocotopia. I have it right here. I was hoping she would come by, but I'll give it to you. Tell her I said hello.
And I'm gonna miss this outfit. I don't have enough for stitching. I don't have enough crowns for stitching, that is. So actually I'm gonna miss kind of looking like this. The Zeus gear, in my opinion, looks really cool. Like, separately. But it looks way too epic for walking around, like, pseudo-England full of dogs. Right, it's nice to fit in, like, with the local flavor, I think.
Thank you, dear wizard, for tracking it down. I haven't had mail from my brother in a great while. I wonder what he sent. Say, the package contains some nice souvenirs from Crocotopia, but my brother always sends too much stuff. A girl needs only so much. Could you take this scarf and this necklace to my friend Tracy, who sells tickets at the airport? She would so enjoy these trinkets from Croc.
Sure. We'll do this really quick, because I'm not entirely sure if it'll end up having to... I'm not sure if it'll end up with us having to fight some more mobs, so we might as well get this over with now. And the quest arrow is so confusing here. It's because like corners confuse it really bad, and this place is just full of them. Yeah, you have to kind of visually remind yourself where you are at all times, and have like the mental map. Yeah, I'm too tired right now to be able to think through stuff, so this isn't helping. Oh no. Oh hey. I was actually going to mention this before, but Raid Trevor actually has like a pretty unique model. I don't think it reappears again until like Celestia. But no, since they added these walking NPCs, it looks like they added some more, like, versions of him. Also, they had another NPC, which was from Celestia too, but it was just like standing around the background. So that's kind of interesting. I'm not sure why they added them. They kind of just don't really add anything to the location, I don't think. I mean, look at him. Where's he even going? What's he doing? You know, these ones have been around for like as long as Marleybone has. And they're like talking, so like it makes sense. But he's just like walking. He's not walking to any of the locations. He's just walking in circles. Well, you live your life, weird Reed Trevor clone. In the meantime.
Emily sent me some gifts. She must have received a package from her brother. Oh my, the scarf is wonderful. I so enjoy the artistry from Croc. Oh dear, the scarf has a rip. If it isn't fixed soon, it will unravel the whole thing. Would you be a sweetie and get it fixed at the clothier in Regent Square?
Yeah, I don't think it will like end with us immediately having to fight anything, but I feel like maybe at the end it might require us to fight like 1 or 2 mobs to deal with it. So yeah, we'll just get this one done and over with really quickly. Also, this backtracking might as well rip off the band-aid now. Or adhesive bandage. You know, that's something that's brought up a lot. Is how, especially in like American English, lots of brands ended up making it into like your regular vocabulary. Band-aid is technically a brand.
What a splendid scarf. This is very good workmanship. Too bad there is a rip in it.
Nothing that I can't fix, though. There you go. As good as new. Tracy will love this, as it matches many of the clothes she has purchased here. She's quite a fashionable lady, yes?
Yeah, I mentioned this before, but one of my favorite words is moxie, which is actually just like a super weird soda brand.
My, the scarf looks as good as new. That Stuart is a master of fashion. If he wasn't such a dandy, I wouldn't purchase so many of his clothes. But this necklace you brought, well, it doesn't go with anything I own. Would you be a sweetie and return it to Emily? Tell her thanks for the scarf.
Is dandy an insult or a compliment? I feel like I've heard it be used in both contexts.
She didn't like the necklace. Well, she can be pretty hard to please at times. I'm just glad she enjoyed the scarf. Would you be so good as to take the necklace to Miss Marley? She always likes things that my brother sends from Croc, so she should love this.
Okay, right back to where we were before. Oh wait, we can't go to Chelsea Court yet. Right. So, there's no point to do that. But we need to go to the safe houses, because by doing them, we'll be able to fight some of these mobs in there anyways, so it's no big deal. So, in interesting news, Lemuria just got released. Well, not officially, but it's going to be. Test realm just completed, apparently. And that means I have another entire world that I need to plan around for this playthrough. I'm not entirely sure when I'll actually get around to it, if I even am, because since I am doing this...
You won't find Baxter here, but you will find your end.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to, like, even bother going through it on my main account. Or my main wizard. Because frankly, I just kind of want to get through this as quickly as possible. So yeah, hopefully by the time that I get around to it, I won't be spoiled too much. And we will get to have a live reaction to everything Lemuria related. I only did the first pre-quest, I never did the second one. So yeah, full official blind reactions to everything in Lemuria, hopefully. Hopefully with that coming out, they'll start focusing a little bit more on those PvE changes. And also start releasing some of that new cosmetic gear. Because by the time I get my max level gear, I really want to be able to stitch that elegant shadow wizard thing. Oh, I forgot to tweet that I had started. Yeah, in the meantime, I'll just do that really quick while we're waiting on our turns to pass by. Yeah, in the meantime, I just need to keep throwing up shields too, so I can just kill them in one hit with our Hydra spell. I really need a high power pip chance though. I mean, I could probably two-shot them with Sandstorm, but even then, 7 pips does technically beat out the 8 pips for a Sandstorm, or double Sandstorm, so whatever. There we go. Perfect. Oh, we didn't get our umbrella. Sad. Well, we'll always have 2 more opportunities, I think. I think it's 2. I think it's 4 separate ones. No, it's only 3. Okay. So we might actually have to grind these things out normally, which would suck, because I hate fighting balanced enemies. We still do not have a good answer to them. And that's the other weird thing. We wouldn't have a good answer to them anyways. Besides like double spectral blasts, we wouldn't really have a way to deal with them very easily. Balance really does get the short end of the stick, because I don't get an elemental or spiritual AoE at all for like the majority of the game. You actually don't get one until you're over level 100 already. Which is just insane when you actually think about like trying to get through this at like an efficient pace. That was kind of a weird thing about Balance, is that it relied a lot more heavily on singular hits. So the spell we're about to get called Judgment is heavily reliant on damage per pip. So it's like a really big damaging spell, but it only does damage to one enemy. So it gives you a lot of bounce damage. Then you also get a spell like Hydra, which does a lot of elemental damage, Spectral Blast, which does a lot of elemental damage. Then you eventually...
Oh, you're not Baxter. You'll regret meeting me, you will.
And eventually, you get access to Sabertooth, which is another... Oh no, Sabertooth isn't one. My bad, you get access to Chimera, yeah. And Chimera is basically the same thing as Hydra, but it's a spiritual hit instead of elemental. And none of those are AoEs. So Balance already gets kind of screwed over in the AoE department, but then it goes even further, because they don't get access to one that actually lets them deal with the enemies that they're fighting against. Yeah, Balance definitely needs a prism, or at least access to like a good non-balanced AoE. I had this idea for a balance prism at some point where I would convert it over to shadow damage. Not just because I'm kind of obsessed with it. With, you know, shadow everything, but also because I think it would be very thematically fitting, and also it would just make for a much more interesting setup for lots of strategies. Because hypothetically, you could use it against lots of things, and it would bypass anything except for universal defense or shadow defense. Which weirdly, a lot of the balance not balance, but shadow enemies don't have. What's even more interesting is that shadow enemies, some of them are actually boosted on by balance, so there's already what's the term? Precedent for it. Yeah, there's already a precedent for balance and shadow counteracting each other, so I thought that would have been pretty cool, but unfortunately it wasn't even, like, mentioned or brought up.
More ambushes? Baxter must have the real goods on the O'Learys. No matter, we'll save him. I've got a bloke who might know where Baxter is. Won't part with information nice and easy, though.
Yeah, I pitched it to them. Unfortunately, they never responded.
I don't condone it, but a spot of the old rough and tumble might be in order. Find Willie Marks beyond the garden, defeat him, and he'll tell us what we need to know.
Okay, any more side quests in the meantime? No. Okay. We just need to fight this guy. Actually, there might be a teleporter streak to it. Yeah, none of these teleporters are new, actually. They just added them to Wizard City and to... Is it closer to here? I guess it's close enough. But yeah. Marleybone, Mushu, and Dragonspire already had their own teleporters, so them adding it to Krokotopia was just to kind of catch up, in a sense. And Wizard City. So thankfully these are already put in some pretty good locations. There's no awkward weird ones and there's no like lack of them like Krokotopia had. As I mentioned that before, like a lot of times Krokotopia would have super long hallways, but then like, or have like two very long branching paths, but the teleport would only be on one of them, which is kind of an issue.
What a pathetic excuse for an opponent you are, wizard.
But thankfully Marleybone and none of the worlds past this point will really have that problem. So yeah, that's nice. That's nice to notice, or have. Yeah, I keep stumbling over my words because I am very tired still. I think what I might have been doing more than anything is just taking a nap or something. So almost certainly no variety stream later tonight. Although I am planning on looking into some more stuff too. Because it's been like a month since, or maybe close to a month at this point, since that Fallout 3 update got released, and I'm not entirely sure if there have been any updates in the meantime. If there are, I might just end up doing my Fallout playthrough again later at night. Which should be fun, I think. You know, I've been thinking. Reminded me of... Oh, wait, I never forgot to even tweet that thing out. Hold on a second. Yeah. I mean, it wouldn't really matter. I only have a few followers. But still, it would be nice to just fill up my backlog of things. But what I was saying is... Right, what I was saying is that because I want to be able to get around to that. No, never mind. I lost the thought. But yeah, there we go. This is a very simple tweet. Yeah, sorry about that. There's a very loud car or something outside. But yes.
Now why did I go tangling with a wizard? Alright, you got me. I know where Baxter is. They're keeping him at the old Hyde fraternity house. But you'll never have him. It's locked up tight.
Okay, I also got my old train of thought back. So what I was saying is, it reminded me of something I'd seen before. It was like, you don't have imposter syndrome, like you genuinely just don't try hard enough. And that kind of just reminded me of that. Because I was like, man, I really need to get this schedule and stuff out. So I made sure to actually get around to doing it. I'm going to try to focus on doing a lot of that stuff, which I've mentioned before, but haven't really got around to. Because it does require a good bit of research to be able to do this stuff. Because if I learned anything from my last Fallout streams, that's not really a game that you can just kind of jump into just blindly, since it kind of requires either paying complete attention to the game and really getting immersed, or it's just something that you look up guides for and stuff. So I think that's what I end up doing, is where I would end up just looking up where all the quests are and stuff, so I could actually provide a better experience for it by next time, instead of having to just rely constantly on the very inefficient method I've been going by before, where I just randomly show off like weird speedrunning tricks and stuff.
Willie said we'd never get Baxter out of the old fraternity house. I know something he doesn't.
Because Fallout 1, I feel, is a game that deserves a little bit more respect than just like randomly running around as if it's like a sandbox.
If he's there, the big mugs haven't had a chance to get their claws into him. Great job, Wizard. We'll find him yet. Can't save Baxter if we can't get through the door. As it so happens, I know a few scoundrels who have the right tools. We can't give up on Baxter now. Defeat the hooligans around here and pick up some lockpicks. I won't tell a soul.
So now we got another quest to beat up a bunch of random mobs. This is why it's important to just make sure that you always grab every single one that's available as soon as it's available. Yeah. I'm gonna spend a lot more time doing research and stuff with streams. So look forward to that, is the general idea of it. Okay, well I guess we'll just have to fight them all separately. Oh, cool, never mind, we got two at once. Are these enemies like a one-shot with a blade in Sandstorm, or will it have to be two blades still? I don't know, let's see. I believe that with one blade this should kill them. At the very least, if it rolls a decent damage number, it should. Okay, yeah, easily. The issue is going to be if I end up having to pull those balance enemies, because those ones will require like, okay, cool. Yeah, those ones would require two blades, and then it would probably still require, like, another attack. As you know, I'd rather be able to just use a single 4-pip spell once, than I would want to be able to use two separate ones just to deal with balance enemies. Okay, there we go. Same thing with before, I don't think I'm going to end up fighting any of those mobs while I even have the chance, because I believe I'm going to fight more of them as I continue on the quest line, like in boss fights, so hopefully I just get whatever I need from them later.
managed it, did you? Regular lot of convicts with all these lockpicks, aren't they? No time to muck around. Take these lockpicks to the Hyde Fraternity House in the upper left-hand corner of your map. Find Baxter before the O'Learys know we found him. Go quickly.
Wait, where did we get the map? That just now occurred to me. Did we like magic it into existence? How do we have an accurate map of a place we've never been to before? I don't know. It's never really been something I thought about before. But how does she even know we have a map? Did she give us the map? No, she made it sound like we just got it, like we already had it. So I don't know.
Help! I'm being kidnapped! Don't let the metal men take me!
You will not have this one, Wizard. We must return with him to our master. Resistance is futile.
I love the voice acting. Okay, let's see. How many sandstorms do we have left? Yeah, that's what I was thinking. We're probably running close to out. Well, the funny thing is, since we're like well over level 30 at this point, I'm pretty sure even like once we get Judgment, we'll have access to our next spell too, immediately. If that's the case, I'll just do both of them, I guess. Now, thankfully, even the bosses, at least most of them, are still within one-shot range if you put up 2 blades. All things being considered, I don't even think that Hydra item card will even be necessary, because we could hypothetically just pull out a bunch of feints, which would make up for like the difference of like elemental blades and stuff. So that thing should be able to do like up to like 5k damage of like all of the possible blades we have access to right now. Whereas with just the feints, I think it would be like 3k, which should be enough to like one-shot pretty much anything in Arc 1. With the exception of like a few of like the major bosses.
Please don't let him take me! No!
Yep, so we came here to save him and he got kidnapped anyways. We kind of suck.
Ancient Marleybone. Marleybone was once a land filled with ancient dog tribes who warred with each other constantly. The tribes battled each other with tooth and bone until one rose up to unite them.
I kind of forgot that this was even one of the books I was supposed to grab. Normally it would have like a little thing above them. I'm lucky I actually interacted with that, or else I would have to have come back to do it again.
Beormut, a mighty hunter, won over all the other clans by defeating them in a mighty battle. Because of the great loss of life, it was sworn then that all dogs should only strive for peace. Since then, the tribes began to pursue the betterment of all dogs through the arts and sciences.
Very interesting. That reminds me. Did I miss any? Okay, no I didn't. Nice. We just need to keep our eyes peeled, because they're not clearly labeled like most of them are. Oh, we just need to teleport. There we go.
They took Baxter. Well, I know you did all you could. Maybe there is still hope. Tell Mr. Bones that the clockwork has Baxter. Maybe he can sort the whole thing out. Best of luck, Wizard.
Okay, so I believe we'll be moving on to Chelsea Court next, which means that we actually do need to do the side quest while we're here. Oh, this is a good opportunity. Okay, yeah, we got both of them at once. Nice. Yeah, I was just thinking that if I get both of them at once, I could potentially get the umbrella, and then I just have to find where the O'Leary scurriers are. Because I'm pretty sure in the first area, it's just these woods. I don't have to deal with balance resist anymore. Yeah. Sorry I keep muting for a very long period of time. What's happening is I'm basically just having like random yawning fits. Where I'm like trying to wake up a little bit. Because I am seriously super tired. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure as soon as we get Judgment or whatever second spell comes afterwards, today's just going to have to be a shorter stream. And in the meantime, I may record that Mount Olympus run tonight, or I may just end up doing the grinding, depending on how much I can actually do. And those will be put up on YouTube instead. So the Mount Olympus one will definitely, I think, be a straight to YouTube thing. Who knows, maybe you'll even see something rare, like editing on one of them, instead of me just like slapping the same thumbnail on them. Yes, I do think that'll be a lot of fun. Because I already have a good idea, I think, of how the Mount Olympus run will actually go down. And while I do think it would be funnier to see me fail live on stream, it would also just be like a live stream that would take like several hours. And also be very tiring when I'm already like super tired. In the meantime, if I was recording it, I can just do it in separate, smaller batches and stuff. Oh no, that's not good. They put up a balance tower shield. That's bad. Yeah, I was about to say balance shield, but those don't exist. Although they probably should. And this was something that I was always bringing up before, is that Death has Feint, Ice has Tower Shield, which are both totally stealing Balance's main gimmick of like universal damage. Like, I get that Balance is more like, oh, you know, it's like you're doing balance damage rather than universal damage. So, you know, Balance of Power gives balance increase instead of like a 25% universal increase. But I'm of the opinion that that's just a problem with the design of the school itself, more so than like a fair way to balance out the schools. I've always been of the opinion that balance has been unnecessarily gimped by stuff like that. Okay, there we go. Finished both of the side quests. And good time too.
A professional job. I expected no less from a wizard of your stature. I hate to say it, but these O'Learys don't seem to be taking the hint. If I'm not overstepping my bounds, I wager someone's getting the old gang back together.
Officer Darby rubs his chin for a moment.
Oh no, is the game glitching out?
I've an idea. Defeat the O'Leary burglars. You get them running scared, someone's bound to make a mistake, and I'll be there to see it.
Okay, good. That didn't completely break on me. Well, that's not good. Now I have to fight 3 of them. That's not good. Well, thankfully they're not using weaknesses too much, so maybe. In which direction is it? This thing keeps spinning around and around, pointing in different directions. And this needs to be clear. Just tell me where to go and like be consistent about it. Oh, I had a little mark down here.
Oh, you found it! Oh, my family will be so pleased. Do let Officer Darby know I'm willing to press charges.
Okay, so I kind of wish the areas were a little bit more segregated. with like the enemies, because one of the biggest issues will be finding enough of these burglars alone to actually be able to rack up the multiple of them that I need. In the meantime, unless something spawns in like immediately underneath, I should get 2 burglars in one, which would be very good and easy. There we go. Yeah, these guys are a little bit more damage oriented. So thankfully, they'll just use attack spells more often than things like weaknesses. Or die. God damn it. Okay. Well, whatever. Hopefully this can still one-shot though. Which, if it rolls a max damage thing, it might. If not, then I'll just have to double ghoul, I guess. Yep, we need to use 2 separate ghouls. That's not good. Yeah, I'm not wasting a sandstorm even if I got a power for it. And wow, okay. And we are really feeling the full effects of being a balance here today. Wow, and a max damage roll that one too. I mean, thankfully they can't really do much to us because we're completely busted as far as our resistance stuff goes. I mean, we could obviously be a little bit better, which hopefully by the end of tonight I will be. Yeah. Even with max damage rolls like that, fighting mobs at this point is more of a formality. And even bosses. It won't really get hard until a little bit later. Or in fact, I don't think it'll get hard at all the way up until like late Dragon's Fire. Okay, there we go. We defeated 2 out of 3. And we didn't grab that health. Well, whatever.
Thanks for that, young wizard. You not only found an umbrella, but have given me a leg up on the O'Leary investigation.
Yeah, see, like I said, as soon as we get judgment, we're gonna end up getting a second spell.
With all the deaths, you'd think we'd find loot on the O'Learys we arrest, but we don't. They must be keeping the goods someplace safe.
I'm gonna stop stabbing him with this thing.
Let's split up, have a look inside that warehouse, and I'll coordinate with my men here.
Excellent. You are learning what it really means to keep all things in balance. I have a new spell as your reward.
So I think we'll just go straight up to the warehouse, because hopefully we'll get access to the mob we need. Hopefully they'll have like a O'Leary burglar as a minion. Where's the teleporter? I know there's one that takes us straight there. No, it's behind me. There we go.
Is that a glimmer of hope I see in your eyes? So delightfully unaware are you of your fates.
Look at that. Easy as pie. Unfortunately, this guy can use weaknesses and this guy can use tower shields, so this might not go very well. And we're going second. Okay. I was about to say, if he puts a tower shield on him, that would be the worst thing possible. Okay, nice. So they're just blading each other up. Oh, come on. I'm gonna bet money that... Okay, never mind. I'm not even gonna finish that sentence because it didn't do it. I was about to say, I'm gonna bet money that they're gonna put a weakness and then also put up a tower shield, but surprisingly they didn't do it. Okay, so that was pretty easy. Actually, that was very easy. And we also got our burglars all in one. Thank goodness. Now we just need to talk to the same guy twice. Oh man, I do not know why I woke up this tired today. Hopefully nobody watching this ends up being tired either.
With the burglars on the run, I've got a good feeling about this. They stole quite a bit, didn't they? You've made a lot of people happy, myself included. We're in luck. You scared the burglars, so one told me who's in charge. This bloke Sammy's looking to take over the O'Leary gang. Too bad for him that you're in town. Take Sammy O'Leary down.
Yeah, I didn't wake up today thinking that it was going to be a lazy day. But yeah. I personally need to take a nap or something. Got the yawns. Let's see. So yeah, once this is done, I think we're done with Hyde Park. So, I was mentioning this before, but personally, Marleybone is kind of like neat that you walk across like the rooftops of this place. Like, I actually do think this like design is kind of neat for like a location where it's like you're in a city, but the city is so packed up and built because the land it's built upon is so small that like it's super vertically built, so you're like walking on rooftops and
I
stuff.
hope you're happy with the fate you're chosen by walking in here, kid.
But at the same time, for as cool as it is, I generally don't think that it's as cool as, say, Crocotopia, which kind of looks at it as like its own thing, or Dragonspire. Although I'd say it's pretty much equal to Mushu, in my opinion. I think a lot of people dislike this because they're either A, furries, or B, because they like London for some reason. Oh, that's okay. Yeah, sure. Okay. Yeah, I'll just deal with that. Yeah, no problem. Just adds like 2 extra turns. Yeah. Marleybone is apparently a lot of people's favorite Arc 1 world, but I would like to hear a lot of the reasons why. Because it's usually like so massively overvoted for, like in terms of like... Okay, I said like 4 turns, I guess. Potentially, yeah. I think the thing is that so many people like it that it actually gets like barely any actual like explanation as to why people like it. Like, you know how there's like the silent majority? That seems to be like the sort of case that's going on with it. In the meantime, I'll just spam ghouls. Okay, we fizzled, so never mind, we will waste a sandstorm on this. That's not really a waste, we're actually going to be able to ghoul immediately even if this doesn't kill. Assuming we don't fizzle again. Okay, nice. Okay, cool. Got dandy boots. You know, I do like the way that Marleybone looks in terms of like the walking along rooftops. Although I have to wonder, like, people are probably like living in these buildings. So, I mean, granted, we're like floating above it on our magical narwhal. Right, but if we were walking around, and those guys are also prancing around up there, it'd be like perpetually hearing somebody stomp and then even further fight on your rooftop. Like, imagine how loud it is for me to like summon out like a locust swarm on them, or like use a sandstorm, or like just a pile of sand just like collapses onto the top of the roof, and then like a giant statue head comes out, and then like you hear like a giant buzz of locusts.
What a team we make, young wizard. I only wish we could have a go at the big boss.
That would be a one hell of a night. Then again, I suppose if you were already on something, I'd say like a pretty normal turn of events. Okay, cool. So I believe that is Hyde Park. In which case, we can move on. Yes, we can. To Chelsea Court. I think it'd be faster just to teleport back. It is this way. Yeah, that's the place. Arkenham Palace I mentioned. It's also got like the rooftops and stuff. That is a level 40 dungeon that pretty much nobody goes into. Same thing with the Hollow Mountain one. Pretty much nobody goes there, but the gear actually does have some pretty interesting stuff.
A clockwork kidnapped Baxter? It would seem that we have touched a nerve with them, and they are becoming bold. But all is not lost. I've heard rumors about those metal men lurking over by Chelsea Tower. The game is still afoot, my friend. We have much work to do. If we are to locate Baxter, we must call upon Miss Marfley over in Chelsea Court. She keeps an eye on that neighborhood and knows what goes on over there. I have heard her speak of those clockworks by the Chelsea Tower. Seek her out at once.
Also, Marleybone has like one of the weirder worlds, like story worlds, or world stories. Because it kind of goes all over the place. I kind of like how the old Wizard City stories were set up, and Krokotopia itself I think is okay. But if I were to be clear about like one world that I would like to see changed story-wise, it would have to be Marleybone, because frankly it kind of doesn't make any sense. Like Tavish Hideout, will be near here. Maybe. Oh, whatever, we'll just walk. Yeah, because the way it starts out is we find this informant and then we start fighting the gangs, and then just like halfway through it goes full on with the Sherlock Holmes reference and has this fight Meowyardi. But he's not even like the main villain of the world, and he's not even behind anything. So we have like this whole thing with like the gang wars, and then just like 2 seconds later, after we defeat like one of the biggest like gang bosses, it's just suddenly like we're going into a clock tower to fight Meowyardi, which is weird.
What? You say you're looking for a book? I think you know where the professor's treasure is hidden. You're gonna have to go through us to get it.
Also, Malistaire is here. Like, he just shows up and doesn't really explain what he's doing. Oh, cool. This should be relatively easy, although they do have a lot of HP. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, isn't our next spell Hydra? I thought it might be like a quest spell where we would have to go like further into Marleybone to get it. I'm thinking it might actually just be Hydra, which is one of the worst spells. I mean, it's bad in my opinion, because Well, you know what, I can explain it once I actually get it. But generally speaking, it is one of the most disappointing upgrades that we get access to. Okay, so it's going to require 2 sandstorms for each of them. Let's see. I guess we'll just throw up a spirit shield. Yeah, I think I might actually end up having to grind out that dungeon just so I can get the better power pick gear. Because I would want at least around 50% by the time I get into Mount Olympus. Because using high-pip spells in there is going to be the major. Or just spamming sandstorms non-stop. Either one works, I think. Although which one is better, I guess will remain to be seen. And I believe...
You locate the omnibus within the crate.
Yep, there we go. Nice. Just a random crate. Meantime, you just teleport back to the dorm room. I should really get a house, you know? Like, actually invest in some real estate. Because the dorm room is really good for getting back to Ravenwood really quickly, but we're going into a situation where, and also because we are a balanced wizard, we're not going to end up wanting to go back to Ravenwood very often. So for other wizards, I'd say just keeping the dorm room is fine, but for balance specifically, I would argue that it's better to get a house, because the cool thing about houses, or castles, I guess is what they're technically called, is that they give you access to a spiral door, so you can go to any world immediately as soon as you teleport home. So it's way faster.
You found the Omnibus of Balance? Good for you. Without it, I would not be able to give you a higher spell. Let me see that. Give me a moment to read all of this. My eyes are not so good anymore. You will not need to go far to summon your minion. Just cross back to the oasis, and you will summon the Winds of Balance.
Meantime, we're basically gonna get, yeah, so after this we're gonna get access to what is essentially the in-school waifu for balance. It's kind of a weird thing to say.
The winds suddenly build to a howling cyclone.
I wasn't expecting it to happen immediately as soon as we got off the boat, but okay.
Though the wind threatens to tear you apart, you remain calm. And the more relaxed you allow yourself to be, the more the winds die down. Your inner calm appears to bring the winds of chaos to a standstill. You feel in balance with the world.
Okay. What's weird is that I think you actually do get to see Judgment like way earlier on in a quest. Although I'm not sure if that's for a different school.
So the Winds of Balance have obeyed your command. Good, very good. Then you are ready for the Judgment spell. Use it wisely.
And here we go. We got her. Very nice. Anyways, what's cool about Judgment is that since we got her, we can pretty much replace everything with it, because at the same cost of pips, it'll do as much base damage as a highest damage roll Scorpion, and it'll do more than every other 2-pip spell, which is very, very good. So, why not show her off in a little damage test before we end things off? But yeah, the castles would be super cool. The issue is that there's so many cool ones that you can get. I'm not entirely sure which one I'd even want. You know, there's obviously the Balance house, which is down here. If I can scroll down, there we go. Of course, they're really expensive in terms of crowns, but you can also buy them with gold. So, there's obviously the Balance house. Personally, I think the Myth house is the coolest out of the ones you can buy. Maybe just the Wisteria Villa, since that one's a classic. I don't know. I'll think about it. Oh yeah, let's see. Is there anything else we want to do? Nope, we got barely any quests left. So yeah, I say, let us end this off with just a quick damage test of Judgment. Okay, there we go. And the other coolest thing is that it's an X-Pip spell. So, while it will do the same amount of damage, if not more, as any 2-pip spell, it will also be able to use any amount of pips we get access to. So if we have 7 power pips, we will be able to use one that has a base damage of 1400, which is very strong, obviously. Judgment is actually fundamentally one of the most damaging spells in the game because of that. Unfortunately, it's only a single target, and it does balance damage, so it's not particularly great. But it is very cool. Okay, so this is with 5 pips plus 175 additional damage. How much will this do? Let's see. Wow. Yeah, it's super strong. Unfortunately, it's kind of worthless, all things being considered, because despite doing a lot of damage, single hit, especially balanced damage hits, just are not good. But it is basically the best thing we can pack, since it's basically a replacement for wand hits. Or it's a good one for wand hits. A good replacement, that is. Right, this is what I was thinking. I forgot to do this at any other point, so I might as well just right now train up to Volcanic Shield, which is probably the best shield in the game. Like, even more so than Tower Shield, in terms of the schools that are going to do big damage to you, it's going to be Storm and Fire, and minus 70% is way more powerful, and to get both, so that's very helpful. Oh yeah, and one more thing. We need to go grab that other spell from Alhazred, which I do think it is Hydra. So if it is, I think we might also show off that one really quick. And kind of show off why I dislike Hydra. I can't believe I forgot to grab this first time. No, okay, never mind. It's Donut Power. Which is arguably even more useless. I mean, what's interesting about it is that it costs 1 pip, and it gives 2 pips, which I'm not sure if that works on ourselves, which could hypothetically give us some good usage out of it, because it would give us the same pips plus 1. I don't think we can give it to ourselves, but even if we could, I mean, yeah, even if we could, it's just like 2 regular white pips, which are nowhere near as good as power pips, so I'm not sure. Yeah, this is what's really cool about this. So yeah, I was confused because it was level 32 is what I was thinking it was, but it's actually level 42. So these are all new spells. They for some reason came back and gave us access to a bunch of weird level 42 spells and level 45 spells. Like every school, they went back and buffed up like the Grandmaster level spells significantly. Or the Grandmaster level area specifically. I feel like Elemental Golem might be very helpful too. Because if we can get access to that, then we'll be able to use Elemental Shield while still doing damage. Which I don't think will be that helpful, like in terms of like actual usability and PvE. I think it's more of a PvP thing, but yeah, hopefully it's good. But anyways, I'll save the Hydra rant for whenever I can actually give a visual demonstration of it. In the meantime, I am extraordinarily tired. So I hate to cut it off this early, because we've only been going for a little over an hour at this point, I think. But yeah, it's been about an hour and a half. But in the meantime, that'll give me a lot of time to grind and set up some other things. So hopefully tomorrow I'll be back with 2 streams and I'll be awake and ready on time. So yeah, thank you all who watched and I will see you guys tomorrow. And I hope you all have a very good day.